Blog Talk Radio.
What do you do when you don't know? Just go and ask for do-de-o-do. A Hooroo will journey with you to all the places of
Ready
the
to save the day.
What do you do when you don't know? Just go and ask for do-de-o-do. A Hooroo will journey with you to all the places others won't go.
You're listening to Ask the Unicorn, live with Ahura Z. Deliza, answering all your paranormal, metaphysical, and spiritual questions. Call us now at 718-664-9638 to speak with Ahura, or post your questions via chat room on our show page. And now your host, Ahura Z.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're on the air live with me. I'm Ahura Z. This is Ask the Unicorn. Today's date is, Kazi?
Today is Wednesday, February 5th, 2014, and this is episode 19.
This is also the first week of the Year of the Horse, for all of you that don't know that. So, happy Chinese New Year.
Yay! Gung Hei Pat Choi.
Gung Hei Pat Choi. And we'll have a special song for you all a little later. But we'll get to our questions in a moment. What I would like to just take a moment to talk to you all about is finding each other. Now, what do I mean by finding each other? What I mean is there are a lot of people out there that are assisting the universe, are doing what they need to do to be useful to the universe and be useful to mankind, helping people to come into a new spiritual awareness, which has happened all along, but lately it's happened en masse to people that have suddenly woke up. You know, we have to help each other in our communities. And what I mean is our spiritual communities, our mystical communities, our metaphysical communities, and our paranormal communities. Now, I have a lot of colleagues that are into paranormal work and into mysticism and into metaphysics. And, you know, it's very, very important to, once in a while, check with these people. So, you know, we're all going to start checking on each other just to make sure that we're all okay, to make sure that we can help each other in many, many different ways. So I'm going to suggest the same thing to you. If you know that there's someone in your spiritual community, a really cool thing for you to do is just check on them once in a while. Not to, you know, give them your problems or necessarily to have theirs, but to be an ear for them once in a while, or just to say, hey, I just decided to come over and check on you, or to give you a shout out, or to email you to see how you're doing. You know, it helps you be interested in other people. And people really do appreciate when you're interested in them. So that's something I'd like to put out there for you all to think about. Another thing that I'd like to put out there is that we all know that this world is very, very rapidly changing. We also know that this world is very, very rapidly evolving. And there's beginning to be kind of a dividing line between those that are into evolving and spiritually growing and those that are not. And, you know, you can't fault people for not wanting to grow or for not wanting to move into a new awareness. They're set in their ways. You allow them to be that and, you know, think positive thoughts towards them. But for you, those of you that are looking to move on, and those of you that are looking to evolve and grow and help change this world and help give birth to a new awareness, you know, it behooves you all to pay attention to your lives, but pay attention to other lives as well. There's a lot that's happening with animals. There's a lot that's happening with birds. There's a lot that's happening with our weather, and there's a lot that's happening with people. You know, pay attention. Start looking for each other. Find a way to do something on a daily basis that is going to help you to grow spiritually, that is going to help others to grow spiritually, something that's going to add to the well of positivity. There's enough negativity out there. You know, you look at the news every day, what do you see? Something else happened, or someone got mad at somebody else, or someone else did something, you know, but it's time for us to start adding to the wellspring of positivity and understand that it's positivity that will attract positivity. Life attracts life. So how about we step into that particular type of awareness? Now, I will answer any question that has to do with the metaphysical, the spiritual, the mystical, and the paranormal. There are certain things that I will not answer, and I have to repeat this because it's important for me to do so. I do not answer questions about who's going to die, so don't ask me. I refuse to answer those questions. Also, if you have a person that you are seeing, a person that you're married to or in a relationship with, that you wonder if they're cheating, don't ask me that, because I'm not going to answer you. Because if you have to ask me, that means that you don't have enough guts to go and ask the person directly. Okay, and I'm not going to be a part of that. However, everything else is pretty much fair game. And I'd be more than happy to help you through any problems that you're going through in these categories. I'll also offer you some things as far as manual training, because I'm also a musician, a filmmaker, and a martial artist, among many other things. But we'll talk about that a little later. My primary thing is that I'm a universal servant, a psychic policeman, and a telepath. And if you have questions to those ends, I'll also answer those as well. All right, Kazi, let's go ahead and get right to the questions. What is it that we have here?
First question comes from Marie Thompson, and she asks, I keep having a reoccurring dream of gathering my pets up. I have 2 cats at home, and they are always in my dreams, plus a goat I used to have that I had to get rid of, plus other animals, and getting them to safety. They keep getting out each time I would gather 2 up, but I eventually get them all to safety. What could this mean? I have it all the time.
Okay, right now, that's a pretty good question, and I'm going to tell it to you this way. You're having some security issues right now, and this is something that's probably plagued you all throughout your life, and every once in a while you begin to feel very insecure. You're not knowing exactly what's happening with your life, so it came out in your dreams. Yeah, the way that you can tell this is this. You're constantly gathering these animals up, but they keep getting out, which basically means there's something that you have not secured. There's some place that you are lacking security. So if I were you, I'd go through my little checklist to see if there's some things that maybe you left the back door open to, okay, from your past, and maybe some things that you're not taking care of right away. That's trying to tell you, make sure that things are nice and secure. It doesn't mean that you're in danger or anything like that. It merely means that you need to start, checking your list to make sure that you're okay. Now, one of the ways that you can tell this is that you're looking at a goat that you used to have that is no longer there with you now. So this has not much to do with what's going on right now. It has to do with something that you may have experienced or something that you still haven't cleared out from your past. So how about we go and check some things and, just kind of do a mental list of the things that you need that are going to make you feel a little more secure, and take care of those things, okay? And I think that the whole problem will be settled. That's basically what the dream is telling you now, okay? I hope that helps you. What do you got next?
Next question is from Anonymous via email. I have been haunted by a tentacular shadow with a round mouth full with teeth since childhood. What may that thing be, and will my black tourmaline be enough to keep it away? Is it attracted to my ability to sometimes see the invisible?
Well, it's not likely that it's attracted to your ability to sometimes see the invisible. What you're talking about, something that is something that's commonly referred to as a parasite or an astral type of a being. And in your particular case, it's something that you said has followed you for a long time, and you've acquired a black tourmaline, and it's keeping it away now. That's really what matters. What you don't want to start doing is amassing energy that's going to make you afraid of it, because I think that it's more attracted to your emotions than it is your ability. But that sounds kind of like an astral parasite, and I've seen something similar before, and it's a nasty little thing, but you need to get rid of it, period. That means that there's something that you're doing that constantly brings it around, okay? It has to have a reason to be there, because if there's no energy going towards it, then it has no reason to be interested in you. So you're feeding it somehow. Even if you're not doing it on purpose or consciously, it's being fed somehow. So you may need some help to have someone get it off of you permanently or get it away from you permanently and give you a list of training things to do. If you do, fine, you can contact me. You can also contact other people that are workers in this particular field that deal with an astral being. But that definitely sounds like an astral parasite there. And if your tourmaline is helping you, then by all means, keep it with you. Just remember this. When you acquire a crystal or something like that, they don't last forever. Even they have a certain energy, and that energy gets depleted. Remember, you've separated them from the earth, so they go from a perpetuation to a kind of a more finite state of being. You've taken them away from the source. So they may have a good charge of energy, but eventually they're going to run out, which means that you're going to have to get another crystal. I would think that one of the things that you should do is to perhaps investigate getting a good amount of tourmaline where you live, and if you have a house, maybe put it in the ground somewhere around your house, and that could keep that entity at bay. Not only that, it'll keep other entities at bay. So also, if you do have it on you, don't let other people touch it, and if you can, don't let other people see it, okay? Because remember, thoughts can influence things, and if you let someone else see it and let them touch it, you wound up getting their energy, and then you deplete your crystal a lot faster. Okay, so that's what that is, and I've given you a method to take care of it, so hopefully you can. And if you're having more trouble with it, just, give us a call, and you can reach me at Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics. And the website is www.unicorn-cove.com, and I'm always here. And you can also call into the radio show, and we can talk a little further about it if you so choose to do so. I hope that helps you. Thanks for your question, though. Okay, what have you got next?
Next question is from Joey, and they ask, "Hi, Unicorn. My daughter has 4 light, unexplained scratches on her forehead. I'm worried. What should I do? She doesn't know how she got them, but knows that it happened when we were at a relative's house. Please help."
Well, the scratches could be from anywhere. I think that especially when it comes to children, if you're talking about a child that's older, or that's one thing. But if you're talking about a young child, children can get scratches from the strangest place. Now, if it's at a relative's house that this has happened before, something similar has happened before, that's what I'd be more interested in. That means that there's an energy or a person there that is causing that. And if you know that these particular relatives, or you know the integrity of these particular relatives and know that nobody there would ever do anything to harm her, then we have to start looking at, 1, is she accident prone? 2, did she bump into something that did scratch her? 3, is there an animal around that could have possibly scratched her and she didn't notice it until later? And 4, then we jump into perhaps something paranormal. But you have to go through this checklist. And if you can answer all of those questions, then, you come up with something that says, well, there's nothing unusual that could possibly happen. There are no animals, no one there has been tussling with her. She didn't run into a tree or get scraped in any way, shape, or form. It's just that the scratches manifested themselves. Then we have something to go on. At that particular point, you're going to need some help to help her with her energy. If, I might suggest that wherever you are, there's bound to be some experts around. If they're not, then perhaps we can talk via Skype. I also have a Skype address, and my particular ID is Metatron Z1. That's Metatron Z1. And I can also help you via Skype. So we have many avenues of which you can contact us. So hopefully you do. Keep an eye on her. I need to know if there are any anomalies, if anything further has happened. I'd be more than happy to help you out. Just give us a call. Our particular phone number is area code 207-207-347-5686. Or you can call into the show. That is 718-664-9638. 718-664-9638. Okay, and for those of you that are out there listening, you can also call in as well. If you have something that you need to discuss, you don't have to worry about it. I will answer your questions. I know that people have lots of questions, but sometimes when you have a metaphysical issue or a paranormal issue and you go to talk about it, you're kind of afraid of people thinking what they're going to think. But, we're in a day and age right now where even science, if they are actually scientists and not someone who just wants to make a paycheck, have to admit that all possibilities have to be included when you're trying to find things out. Every single method of learning must be employed. And we're talking about the metaphysical, the spiritual, the paranormal, And these things are very, very key points and key factors in our lives today. Think about just your life. There are no strings on you. You know, no one is making you breathe. It's part of your whole makeup, which means there has to be something extremely powerful that is causing that to happen. It's more than just nerve endings and synapses and sparks and things like that. There has to be something there, and I'm going to submit to you that has to be a spirit, and that also has to be a soul, and that there are other souls and other spirits that are in abundance all over this planet and all in the solar system, the galaxy, and the universe. And these things just cannot be ignored. Nor can they just be put away, nor can they have someone putting away, discounting them, and then waiting for them to find it so they can say they discovered it. It's always been, it always will be. You know, so if you have questions and you want to dive into these particular areas of learning, my suggestion is for you to do exactly that. All right, let's move on to our next question. What do you got?
Next question is from John McLucas, and he says, I am a former psychic police student, and I want to thank you for inspiring me. How did you start teaching and build the operation you have now, as that is something I would like to do in the long run? Peace.
Those are good questions. You know, I did not set out to be a teacher of anything. I wanted to be the one that was enjoying things, you know, and the one that was listening, and then the one that could, you know, say that, oh, I'm learning this and all of that good stuff. But I wound up doing that, but I did not set out to be a teacher. It's kind of like teaching. I hate to say it this way because it sounds so cheesy. Jeez, it just sounds so cliche. I didn't really choose teaching. Teaching chose me. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. I had a very powerful teacher myself, and she taught me many things. She taught me to hone my gifts and focus my gifts. And these are things that I've always, the paranormal is something that I always was acquainted with from the moment of my birth. I always knew that I could see things. I always did see things. And, you know, it's really funny, the way that I would see things is the people and those that we like to call spirits or ghosts were kind of the same. So it was never a question of whether or not they existed, but how they existed. Or in other words, that there was, am I going to talk to this person or I'm going to talk to this person, and they're both talking at me at the same time. You know, so which one do I answer? So I had to learn the difference in those that had a body and those that did not have a body. And that went on for many, many years. And then when I finally met my teacher, she had to help me become grounded. In other words, one of my first things was learning how to keep a job. You know, staying grounded long enough that I actually could, and not just depending on all of those that did not have bodies to, you know, find things from me. Because, you know, being a telepath, it can lead you into certain things that just are not cool, you know, like looking into people's heads to see what I could get, what I could not get. But, you know, I later learned that that's a violation of a person's free will and also a violation of the only sanctity that a person will ever have, and that is their mind. So I'm very strongly principled in that. So I had to learn a lot of principles. I had to learn a lot. I had to practice and discipline myself a lot, and I still do. There are disciplines right today that I follow on a daily basis, not once in a while, not sometimes, but every single day, because they help me to maintain a level of groundedness. So I got the opportunity to help someone because they came and said, you obviously see something. This is what I'm seeing. And then all of a sudden, I went to that person's house and saw, and I knew that I had the ability to deal with it. It's just something that I knew. And I did deal with it. Well, what happens when you deal with something once, it gets around. And then I had to deal with it again and again and again and again. And it came to a point where people would ask me questions. And because of the particular energy that I have, and because of the ordination that was given to me by the universe, I am able to answer a lot of questions, and I understand them. And the task is to get other people to understand them, which again means that I have to be incredibly grounded in order to do so. I can't just sit around and talk about, oh, can you see all the prana and the the giant lotus that I'm sitting in the middle of, can you not see it? I don't get to do that, and nor should anybody else. So I remember for years I kind of ran away from teaching people things because I had a really huge ego, and I still have a huge ego, but I needed to learn to deal with it. And, my teacher used to point that out as well, and I had to learn to deal with it. And finally, I started to just deny opportunities because I didn't want to let my head swell up. And she pulled me aside one day and said, I get it. You don't want people to say, oh, thank you, you're so wonderful, because you're dealing with that ego thing. But so you got to learn to let it go. And I did learn to let it go. I understand exactly that my having the ability to do what I do and my yearning and desire to help people has some to do with me, but not a lot. In other words, I know that the universe put in me what it is that people see and what it is that people like. I had very, very good teachers, so I do the best of my ability to honor my teachers by showing the respect that I'm supposed to show for the art that I have learned. And one day, someone saw me doing Tai Chi, and they asked me to actually come to a church and teach people Tai Chi, which I found kind of a strange thing, but I did it. And it wound up being a thing. I went to different places to teach Tai Chi. Tai Chi was also a vehicle for me to talk about things of a metaphysical nature, because they go hand in hand, so it was brilliant. And I wound up having my first class of adults. I've already taught children martial arts, and but I wound up having a first class of adults that had 150 people in it, and something, it was kind of daunting at that particular moment. I turned away from them while they were waiting for me to begin the class, and I walked outside, and I kind of stood there looking at the sky going, oh my goodness, what do I teach these people? What do I say? And I heard my teacher's voice say, you say what I taught you to say. So I walked back in, and that's where it began. And, this is not something that you can look at and say, well, I built my operation, because I've had some hard times. I've had great times. I've had hard times. But the one constant in my life and the one constant in my goals is to serve the universe and serve them well. Whether I'm doing that, you only know at the end, or you only know after the end, so to speak. But, I do my best. And if you're going to begin to do something, you can't wait for the perfect time to do it. Okay, because there is no perfect time. You do it now, or don't do it at all. In other words, if you study karate, if you karate do yes, or you karate do no. No try. So I took that particular thing and I went with it. I had just a little bit of money. I found a place that I knew was going to be good for what it is that I wanted to do. I worked at Denny's. I've done a lot of things, but I'm just kind of giving you all a short version of it, even though it might be too long. I worked at Denny's, and I loved being a waiter because I got to help people. And I took my last money, and I rented this little place that was no bigger than the room that I'm in at the moment. And I painted, I cleaned, I rebuilt, I put a sign up, I had my little table and some herbs, and I opened. I quit my job at Denny's because my whole philosophy was, if I can't believe in myself, then nobody will. And I began. And like I said, sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not, but I still have to keep going. This is what I'm meant to do, and this is what I will do. So if you're going to do something like this, the best thing for you to do is put your hat in the ring and go for it. And that's the bottom line. Don't listen to what anybody else has to say, because they'll always either try to talk you out of it or tell you how you can't do it or what you have to do in order to do it. You're the one that knows. So just do it. There were 6 other businesses that opened at the same time as I did. They all had business degrees. They had bank loans. They had people that gave them money. You know what I had? I had me. I had me, no one else. And to this day, neither one of those businesses are still here. Not one of them. So you have to be the judge for yourself. But if you're waiting for the perfect time is now. And I remember you, and I think that you're capable of doing it. Just do it. Okay? Be kind to people. Be there for them. Exercise patience. And keep going. Don't just stop because it looks hard. So I hope that helps you out. If you need any more, you know where to reach me. Okay. All right. Do we have anything else?
Yes, we do. Next question is from Rebecca via Facebook, and she asks, once I was a vegetarian for a year, and I could hear music and smell flowers that had no physical source, and I had some of the most life-changing dreams. I noticed that meat grounds me. How can diet affect your sensitivity to the metaphysical?
Well, it's well known in the metaphysical world and community that beef is an incredible grounder. It has something in it that adds to your grounding force. Now, if you're looking to get those kind of visions again, you have to take these things into consideration. Not everybody is capable of vegetarianism, so if the reason that you switched from being a vegetarian is because it may have affected you adversely, I wouldn't suggest doing it again. Not unless you speak to someone who knows your body and knows how to deal with certain things. However, if nature is leading you to do that again, then my suggestion would be for you to do that. But even in psychic attacks, one of the things that will stop the psychic attack, or at least cut it down, is just taking a little piece of beef jerky. So it does definitely change your chemistry when you eat meat, and that's just the way that it is. That's a fact. There's a densifying factor that happens among a lot of other things, because nowadays where we get meat from and what type of meat we eat is rather questionable when it comes to our own personal health. So I would ask you to exercise a great deal of caution when you decide to change your diet. But if you thought that you were doing better as a vegetarian, if you really believed that, then my suggestion is for you to try to go back to that particular point. But if you knew that it was unhealthy for you and you just did it because, other people were doing it, which is the case, we in our society have an incredible ability to jump on bandwagons, just because someone else is doing it. And then we make up clever slogans. But the truth is that, there's a reason that you have those pointy teeth, and there's also a reason that some people just can't deal with meat. And I've known people who were real vegetarians personally, and it wasn't about a political stance. It wasn't about, any of those things. It's just that their bodies could not handle it. And, I think I got the biggest surprise, and I, at the time, thought it was rather comical because their son, they were good friends of mine, their son started eating my dandelions out in the front lawn. And I said, Bill, your kid is eating my grass. And Bill said, oh, he was hungry, So the bottom line is this. If there's something that you want to do and vegetarianism does help you, then my suggestion is for you to go ahead and do it. But there is a reason that meat changes things. It has a densifying factor. So I hope that helps you.
And she just wanted to let you know that the switch from vegetarianism was purely due to cost. The experiences were pleasant and very helpful to me.
Okay. Well, if it was helpful to you, then I suggested you go back to doing that. I understand cost, but nowadays you can grow your own vegetables. I mean, I can't right now. It's winter, especially if you live in Maine. But if you get the opportunity, look for some connections. There are a lot of co-ops that are around that will help you out with the vegetable costs and things like that, okay? Just make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're exercising, you're checking things, and know that you're okay. But if you plan on getting back to that particular state of being that you have, then do it little by little, because the body does get used to eating meat. And when it gets used to eating meat, it's rather hard to just let it go. So take your time, okay? But that densifying factor is real. All right. I hope that does help you out. If you have any more questions about it, I'll be happy to answer them. Just let me know. All right, what have you got next?
This next question is from Roberta via Facebook, and she asks, what does it mean when my son can smell sage in our home when I haven't used sage for many days?
Well, if your son can smell sage in your home, there may be a remnant of the sage. The sage smell doesn't go away automatically. I mean, it just doesn't. And at the same time, he may be smelling something that could be telling him something. Maybe you need to do it again. You know, we've talked about your son, and I think that your son does have a good degree of perception. So one of the things, if you start smelling something, perhaps the sage offered something that could help in your home. So maybe investigate it a little bit, okay? It also could be something that is their physical, and he may just have a very sensitive nose. So remember what I said. Always exercise those things that are going to be in the physical before you start jumping up into the paranormal, okay? Hope that helps you. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play a song right now. And when we come back, we'll get more into the questions. We'll also talk some more about reaching out to each other. All right. Be back momentarily. I'm Uhura Z, and this is Ask the Unicorn.
By the power given to me, and through the light. By the power given to me, and through the light that lives deep inside me, and in the nature of those who've made all things, I am. And in my mind, I will know victory. In my heart, I will know peace. In my life, I will know destiny. And my soul
Okay, that was Pisces Project and I Am. For those of you that like the music, you can go to Unicorn One Records and download any of the songs that you hear on this show. That is www.unicorn1records.com. And the downloads are very inexpensive, and it would help our cause out. All right, I want to take just a moment to talk about a friend of mine. And her name is Stephanie Beggs, and she offers a lot of very valuable services. And she works at the Cosmeticos Spa and Wellness Center, and that is in Standish. That is 1 Northeast Road, Route 35, second floor, Standish, Maine. And she offers a lot of very important services. One of them is Ginote facials, massage, ionic foot detox, reflexology, Reiki healing, hydroderm facials, skin script, chemical peels, microdermabrasion, IPL laser, infrared sauna, body bronzing, and a whole list of other services that I think that are very, very important for one's well-being. And I happen to know her personally. She's a very wonderful woman, and she only looks to serve people and to help them out. So you might go to the Cosmetico Spa and ask for Stephanie, and just say that Z sent you. Okay, the number is area code 207-650-0007. You can also reach them on the website, and that is www.cosmeticospa.com. And how you spell that is Kosmetikos, or IKOS, excuse me. And you can also go to cosmeticos7@yahoo.com. And I think that if you go there, you'll be very, very greatly rewarded. They're very wonderful people, and they're looking to help you out. So please do that. All right. Let's get back to what we were talking about before, and that is some of the people that have called in have some very, very great questions. The tone of everything is starting with the physical, though, and then moving your way up into the metaphysical. I have to say this because I get a lot of calls and people say, well, this cup fell off of my dresser and I wonder if it's a ghost. It could have been just the vibrations of your home and or the vibrations in the room that you happen to step by and knock the cup off of the dresser. Now, it's very important for you because there are a lot of very paranoid people out there and a lot of people that are just kind of easily frightened. The spiritual world is not looking to come along and possess you. Okay, nor are there tons of ghosts that have just decided to stop all of their ghostly activities to pick on you. So I know that the TV shows and the movies that have come out, especially the one with the shaky camera, you never really get to focus on anything. I know there's a rash of them that came out, but they're pretty much wrong. There are certain principles and certain laws and certain rules that even those spirits have to follow. And I know that every once in a while you get a rogue spirit that has done something, but usually someone has come along and messed with that spirit, or they've done something to offend that spirit. Because for the most part, they're just trying to get where they're going to. Every once in a while you get a malevolent energy. I understand that. But for the most part, they're not malevolent, and they're nothing to be afraid of. You just have to learn a bit of respect. Now, think about it just for a second. I talked about going to a cemetery or graveyard once in a while and doing something very honorable, which would mean to go and bring flowers and see if you can, and it's within your realm to do so, go and put flowers on each of the gravestones, But if you do it for one, you have to do it for all of them, unless you do have an actual family member there. Now, that brings me into another area. There are a lot of people that just like to go visit graveyards, and for whatever reason they like to. I really can't argue with them. But usually if you don't have family that is in that graveyard, it's something that you actually should seek permission from. Seek permission for. Otherwise, you're showing a bit of disrespect. If you have a family member that has been in this, that is in this particular, you have some portion of a friend or family or a person that you were in a relationship, etc., then it's okay for you to go and do such a thing. Just remember something. You have to show them all respect because there may be someone that is still hanging out there. And 9 times out of 10, there really is. There are some graveyards where there's no one there anymore, but most of them, yes, there are still some people there, and you're going to have to show some ultimate respect. I know that there were a lot of people that would go to graveyards and do things like tip over headstones, which is like just so disrespectful, or spray paint or tag something on one of the one of the headstones, or do other activities that you really shouldn't be doing in a cemetery or a graveyard. But understand this. If you happen to go someplace and show disrespect and all of a sudden you're being chased by an entity, you kind of asked for it. You probably did ask for it. And, you can do things to appease them, or do things to at least make them understand that you really didn't know and you're sorry and you won't do it again. And sometimes that could just be as easy as making a gesture, bringing flowers, bringing something, an offering to say, look, I realize that I messed up, and I'm looking to make amends. I apologize. Remember something that I said. They've lost their body, not their minds, okay, and not their feelings, and sometimes you may have done something to anger them, or even if it's inadvertent, you may have done something to anger or bumped shoulders with someone who did. So make sure that you're always showing proper respect. And if you know someone that likes to do things like go and call out a ghost, tell them to stop being an idiot, and tell them that they're doing the wrong thing. And believe me, they will see you. All right. Now, if you have any questions, or there's something that is going on with you personally that you'd like to have help with, you can give us a call, and that is at 718-664-9638. That's 718-664-9638. And listen, I really do enjoy talking to people on the phone when they call in, or I really like to discuss things that you're going through. From time to time, I will have guests that are in our field. You're perfectly safe here. No one's going to bully you. I don't allow it, okay? You're safe to express yourself as long as it has to do within the realm of these particular topics that we're talking about. This is that place that you can go to and say some of the things that you've been experiencing, and no one will judge you. And if they do judge you, then, I have a philosophy. They can take a long walk off of a short pier, have a Coke and a smile, and be quiet. So if you have anything that you'd like to talk about, and I know that there are some people out there, I know that there are some people that are listening right today that are trying to figure out whether or not it's safe for them to actually call in and talk about things, or even ask a question. Are anyone going to know who they are? It doesn't really matter. This is one of the most easy forums to speak to someone who's an expert. And I know that there are a lot of people out there that say, well, there are no experts in this field. You look at them for me and tell them that Ahura Z said, there is at least one expert because I am it. Okay? And I'm sure that there are a lot of other experts that think the same thing. For those people that are skeptics, I love skeptics. I think that they're just fascinatingly entertaining. So you just don't worry about those kind of things. You're perfectly safe here. I'm not going to ambush you. I know that I have been on shows where they tried to ambush me before, and have someone who's an affiliate of Fox News decide that they were going to invite this person on the show with false pretenses and then have a couple of skeptics waiting for them. I'm not that type of person. So please call in. All right, let's see if we can go back to some of the questions. What do we got?
The next question is from Rebecca, and she wants to know, what if I simply enjoy cemeteries? I have always felt a sense of protection over cemeteries.
Okay. Well, you said it right there. You said you felt a sense of protection. And that's actually showing some respect. And it's great that you enjoy cemeteries, but you usually have to have a reason. So ask yourself what the reason is, and I think that you've already answered that. You said you feel like you should protect them. I used to sit and think about how I would be if I were a mortician. I've known some morticians. And they're very interesting people, or people who look over cemeteries, and I think it's one of the most honorable jobs that you can have. So perhaps you can be a little more involved, not just from a passive standpoint. See if there's something that you can help with the cemeteries. I always think that it's better to be involved in something than just to be a passenger on the ride. You know what I mean? Be involved in it. So if you enjoy cemeteries and you do have a healthy respect of them and you feel that sense of protection, maybe you can do something to help the cemetery keepers out. Maybe once in a while go and clean headstones. There's less honorable things that you could do. I consider that to be a great honor. And any paranormal investigator that has not gone to do something in the service of those that have walked this earth before you is not truly a paranormal investigator. Remember, paranormal, which basically means normal and beyond. So it would be a good idea for you to at least, hey, is there something that I can do that will help keep this cemetery a sacred place? So go do that. All right, what have you got for me next?
Next question is from Roberta via Facebook, and she asks, yesterday while at work, a coworker was complaining that her knees were bothering her. Not really knowing what I was doing, I put my hands on her knees, and after a few minutes I could feel heat in a certain area of her knee. She told me that was the exact spot that was bothering her. How can I take my light and move it through my hands to help her? I tried to visualize a healing, and she said it felt a little better.
I think you're learning that already. The thing that you're going to have to exercise is your intuition and the ability that you know that you have, but you're going to have to learn the right way to do that. And I think you did that perfectly, but what I'm saying is that you're in a process of learning those things, and that's not going to happen in one day. So here's the key phrase here that is something that I know that you have a problem with. Patience makes perfect. Discipline is freedom, not rushing because you want to do something. There are steps to everything. That thing may be right in front of you to reach, but there are rules. And these rules you'll have to learn. There are things that you have to do to make sure that you are being safe and to make sure that you're protecting the safety of those people that you are learning to practice on. I don't care what anyone tells you. I know that there are a lot of people that have gone to various seminars and think that they can become a master of something in one day. You're seriously deluding yourself. Okay? You're going to learn these things and take your time, do it right, so that you are always doing it right and not just being fortunate that one day. Now, if you have a natural gift, which you do, great, but you're still going to have to learn to discipline it so that you're freer to use it. So, one day at a time. Hope that helps you. All right, what have you got for me next?
We just have a response from Rebecca, and she says, thanks, I agree.
Yeah, good. And, I really appreciate those that are looking to help those that have moved on, that have walked this earth, because remember, they've kind of paved the way for us to be here, and will pave the way for other people to be here as well. So you hope that you get the same respect as you're showing, and that's just very important. All right. We have talked about a lot this evening. We have a lot more to talk about. I'm going to go right now to a station break so that you can all get some more information about the show. I'm Uhura Z. This is Ask the Unicorn. You are live, and I'll be back momentarily.
You're listening to Ask the Unicorn with Uhura Z. DeLiza, answering all your paranormal, metaphysical, and spiritual questions. Call us now at 718-664-9638 to speak with Uhura, or post your questions via chat room on our show page. If you have an issue you'd like to discuss with Uhura in more detail, he offers telepathic readings and spiritual counseling by phone and Skype. Uhura also teaches private classes online using Skype video. For more information, visit Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics at www.unicorn-cove.com. And now back to Ask the Unicorn.
Okay, now I mentioned to you all earlier, remember this is the year of the horse, and I have a special song for all of you, and I hope you enjoy it. This is something that I wrote a little while ago, And yes, it is me singing Chinese. I am not fluent in Chinese. So if there's anyone out there that is fluent in Chinese, I did my best, okay? I hope you enjoy this song. It's very special to me. And it is called Gung Hei Fa Choi, which is Happy New Year. Enjoy.
新一年，前寨面都沒看過。恭喜發財，恭喜發財，只用紅蓋居開，大吉呢風祿日前。恭喜恭喜發財。新一年，前寨面都沒去懼。恭喜發財，恭喜發財，枝用紅蓋居開，大及呢風祿日前。恭喜恭喜發財。Pisces Project doing Gung Hei Fa Choi, Happy Year of the Horse, 2014. Okay. All right. Now, we've covered a lot this evening. If you have any other questions, please feel free to write in or give us a call, and that is at 718-664-9638. That's 718-664-9638. You see, I keep repeating that, hoping that some of you that are listening and some of you that are out there will give a call and ask a good question. You know, I love doing this. I'm looking to do even more shows like this. So also, if you'd like to donate to the show so that we can do more shows, you can just go to the Ask the Unicorn website, and Kazi will give you some of the information. That is www.asktheunicorn.com, and you can hit the donation button and make a nice, modest donation. You know, we are self-funded. We do everything. We try to offer as many services as we possibly can so that all of you at least have a place to go. And for those of you that don't know this, I do teach classes, and I teach classes in metaphysics. I teach classes in many of the mystical arts, and there are those of you that are beginners, and there are those of you that may be intermediate. And just so that you know this, I am a disciplinarian. And when I teach my classes, I do not teach the classes like everyone else does. Or maybe I do. Who knows? But the bottom line is this. When I teach you something, I do not teach by democracy. It's I say, you do. That's the way that it's supposed to be done, and that's the way that it will be done. If you want to learn something and you make a promise to yourself to learn it, I will make sure that you keep your promise to yourself. And I always say this to my students. I won't give up if you don't. And if there's something that you need to do in your life to feel good about yourself, if there's something you want to develop so that you can offer your services to the universe, then my particular way may not be the very rosy-colored way or the very foofy way, but it is the good way. It's the best way. I had the best teachers. So I hope you all have enjoyed this. If we have no more questions at all? Okay. I hope you have all enjoyed the show. I certainly have enjoyed this show. And I will see you all next week. If there are no more questions, I'll give the opportunity. And I always end my classes this way, so I'm going to end this show this way. Are there any questions? Are there any thoughts? Are there any feelings? Is there something you'd just like to be able to express about how you feel about the show? If not, then we will end the show with a very positive note. Thank you all for listening. This has been Ask the Unicorn. I'm Uhura Z. You are live with me, and I will see you all next week. Peace.
You've been listening to Ask the Unicorn with Uhura Z. Deliza. If you have a personal matter you need help with, Uhura offers telepathic readings and spiritual counseling by phone and Skype. He also teaches private classes in an array of subjects online using Skype video. Visit Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics for more information at www.unicorn-cove.com. If you have a question for Uhura to answer on a future episode of Ask the Unicorn, you can email it to questions@asktheunicorn.com and we'll add it to the list for our next show. Ask the Unicorn broadcasts live every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Standard Time on Blog Talk Radio. Visit our website for more information and to hear archived episodes of our show at www.asktheunicorn.com.
When you don't know, just go and ask for do-de-o-do. Uhura Z will journey with you to all the places on
Ready
the
to sing
photo.
today.
What do you do? And when you don't know, just go and ask for do-de-o-do. Uhura Z will journey with you to all the places others won't go.